Which is it? You an activist, you a killer. You start tweeting all that shit about me just because you ain't think I was gonna say, my address is public. It's on Google. When are you gonna pull up? And don't pull up and be like, hey, I'm pissing on his mailbox, y'all. Bro, the only time you should be taking out your freak millies for when you with my Diddy, nigga. Tell me if I'm wrong. I said, Young Miami, watch your mouth. This is January 17th. Remember this tweet. Stop tweeting at me before you're a witness in a future freak off lawsuit. You ain't got 50 million to pay. And by the way, listen, we could go band for band, a million for million. Actually, that's what we could do. You can't fuck with me. I'm sorry. Glorilla, we could compare anything for anything. You not even close to me. Stop playing. Like, you literally a little ghetto ratchet in Memphis, Tennessee that Gotti done put on. You can't compare to me, shorty.
DJ Akademiks, Big Ak, the self-proclaimed negotiator, has found himself in a ton of internet controversy over the past few months. This time with the female artist and her gay best friend, Glorilla, and just recently the Philadelphia super thug himself, Meek Mill. The Meek beef has been going on for some years but reached a boiling point when Akademiks was one of the frontrunners linking Meek to Diddy's lawsuit. Prior to that, we saw Akademiks break down on stream crying over a threat made by the LGBTQ super thug himself, Saucy Santana.
I gotta sit here and act like I know I'm in America. I gotta sit here and just act like I don't fuck with certain shit. I would never like it.
And that situation got my mind turning. You see, the Ak I know, which, full disclaimer, I actually fuck with Akademiks and I think he has a lot of slick, quick-witted jokes, but the Ak I know is a regular guy, a self-proclaimed civilian.
No more y'all know I ain't gangster. I ain't into that. I'm civilian. I definitely call the cops on you. Don't play with me.
Who has constantly told the world how dumb street culture and thugging can really be while covering rap and hip-hop culture. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is what brings us here today. It's been years since we've seen that innocent young man from everyday struggle, and as Ak has gotten older, he seems to be either on a much shorter leash emotionally, or he just said, fuck it, I'm gonna gas anyone and everyone up no matter the circumstance. Akademiks finds himself in the middle of rap media, so naturally he has opinions that not everyone in the industry will agree with, especially when it comes to their art or their music when it's being talked about. Over the past few years though, Akademiks has found himself in more and more beefs, and I just can't see why. So today we're going to do some investigating and we're going to answer a $1 million question. What happened to our beloved Akademiks? Is he a civilian, or has the money, fame, and power turned him into the newest internet thug? And the overarching theme of this video is, how did this thug version of Ak even develop? But before we do that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. I'm reading every single comment. I appreciate y'all. Just in case we all aren't aware of who DJ Akademiks is, here's a very, very quick summary. Akademiks is an internet personality, obviously, that got his fame from covering the latest news in mostly the hip hop and rap industry on his main channel, DJ Akademiks. In the same timeline, he also had a very popular YouTube channel named The War in Chirac. This channel was purely related to the massive murders and ongoing war that consumed the hoods of Chicago. He would then go on to channel a lot of those subscribers over to his Instagram account and other platforms, where his pages quickly became a good resource for the latest news in the music industry. He also gained a lot of popularity with the Everyday Struggle debate show hosted by himself and Joe Budden while being moderated by Nadeska. This show was like the first take or undisputed of the rap genre, and in its heyday, people were checking in to see the thoughts and opinions of those three. It was a pretty massive show for Complex. After that, he would then go on to build his brand even more with the Off the Record podcast, and he leaned into streaming to his fans on Twitch. Along the way, he was involved in a ton of controversies, as I mentioned before, and he was able to grow the brand even more purely off of attention and eyeballs, regardless if people liked Akademiks or not, because we all know that saying, all publicity is good publicity. The latest news surrounding Akademiks is back and forth with Meek Mill over the Diddy paperwork, but the beef prior to that is what I keep coming back to. A cat named Saucy Santana, who is another Instagram influencer, I guess, or some sort of rapper. He also made a song a few years ago that you might know that got a bit of traction. Mind you, all this beef spawned off of Akademiks speaking on the rap duo City Girls music flopping and not doing so well. Mr. Santana is the best friend of Carisha, who is one half of the City Girls and who is also Diddy's girlfriend or entanglement. I'm not really sure how you would word that. So that's why Saucy Santana came to the defense of his bestie Carisha, making crazy claims that he would grape Akademiks after he beat his ass.
Bitch, and after I beat you, I'ma fuck you in your ass, cause you a bitch ass nigga. That's what we do to you.
Brother,
Now, Akademiks did say that he was spitting on Saucy Santana and thus he got the reaction that we just saw. But I'm not gonna lie, swing on a nigga, sneak up on him, run your ones, do whatever you want to do, but saying you finna sexually assault someone on the internet is low-key crazy. Akademiks responded via his stream and ended up crying.
But like, really, there's certain shit I really don't fuck with in my life, and I would never do. But like, I gotta sit here and act like I know I'm in America. I gotta sit here and just act like I don't fuck with certain shit. I would never like it.
My nigga's so angry right now, he would have cried. That's the type of anger.
Yo, just please. I'm telling you, I hate certain shit to the soul of me. I can't. I'm only pretending because if I say what I want to say, I would never be here for y'all.
Now, at first I was mixed. I was like, why the fuck is Big Act, the self-proclaimed negotiator himself, tripping off of like half-assed threats online from a gay man in his penthouse, right? It was hard as fuck to understand what he was saying too, with the whole I hate certain shit to the soul of me, but you know your boy had to do some digging. And it turns out that Akademiks is Jamaican, which I already knew, but he came over to the States pretty late in his childhood, around 10 to 12 years old. And what I didn't know is that supposedly people in Jamaica are very homophobic. They look down on gay culture and have done some pretty out-of-pocket things to those that associate themselves with that community. So I have to assume when he says I hate certain shit to the soul of me, he's probably referring to that. And then if I assume that, I have to assume that he's crying because he wants to say a lot more than he can, but he doesn't want to in the fear of being canceled and his whole media empire falling on top of him. But this has been a common theme with Akademiks as of late though. Not the crying on stream part, but the retaliating to anyone and everyone who has an opinion on him. Take a look at this video of Mariah the Scientist, who you may know as Young Thug's girlfriend. She got hit with one of those random street interviews outside of an airport or something like that, where at the time Sexy Red's sex tape scandal was trending. She got asked about how she felt on the topic and was told that Akademiks had actually gave Sexy Red some advice on his stream, and that advice was to level up and drop all the fuck niggas in her life. So let's take a look at that.
DJ Akademiks said that she needs to level up and not be with better guys. Is that kind of fair for women though to kind of then put it back on the fault of a woman?
I think Akademiks should stay out of women's business.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think he should mind his fucking business.
Yeah.
Honestly, a pretty normal response in my opinion. She didn't say anything crazy. She got asked about it on the spot and she just said he should probably mind his business and particularly to stay out of women's business. But now I want y'all to peep this nigga Akademiks' response on his stream.
First and foremost, let me just say this very point blank serious to you. You shouldn't be even speaking about me. I'm surprised I even found your ass at goddamn LAX, okay? Between the two niggas who basically put you on because you ain't nothing but a pretty face and with like a decent voice. Don't get it gassed up. You ain't no motherfucking Beyonce, okay? Calm your little silly ass down, all right? So again, while you run around trying to chase relevance, don't ever mention my name. This is the lightest spanking I'm gonna ever give you. The next time, it won't be so pretty, okay? Get to Thug's bond hearing. You were signed by Tory. You ain't show up to one motherfucking trial date. I covered the shit and seem more interested in you, and he put you on, okay? Just keep that in mind the next time you mention me. Because I'll get dirt on chicks like you just for when you open your dirty, filthy mouth and mention me again. Don't ever. This is the lightest I'm gonna ever give it to you, shorty. Okay? But if you do want, and by the way, I don't give a fuck which thug nigga is your boyfriend. Don't mention me. And don't be having no shade or no type of hint of disrespect when you mention me.
Bro is just crazy disrespectful over the littlest shit. In her interview, she was literally asked her opinion by the lady interviewing her. It's not like she went out of her way to post on social media about her opinion on Akademiks. The interviewer asked her opinion on what Akademiks said. She got asked a question and she answered it. Akademiks being in the media, he should understand that. I get the fact that he can't just mind his business. He's in the media, whether these artists like it or not, and he's going to have an opinion or he's going to make a post about trending topics. But if Akademiks is free to publicly share his opinion online, then so should other artists and other people that he critiques. Or am I tripping? Like that to me, that makes a ton of sense. But you see, to me, this is the Akademiks that makes no sense. To compare, let's take a look at the young, innocent man from Everyday Struggle. One of my first memories of Akademiks that I know was back in 2017 when Vic Mensa was a guest on Everyday Struggle. Vic Mensa, a rapper who at the time had a lot more fame than he does now, came onto the show and pressed Big Act to his face about the previously mentioned Warren Chirac YouTube channel. Mind you, Vic Mensa is from Chicago, and yes, the Warren Chirac Ak was pretty out of line. The page is still up to this day if you guys want to take a look, and I could definitely see how the content could be seen as instigating or at least gaslighting.
Surf Chicago, they hyped up the music not knowing that real lives are being affected. How do you feel about that?
I wanted to slap you in your face, honestly. People exactly like you made a following off of clowning situations that we go through in real life. Whatever made you feel like you had a space to have a perspective on our people dying? There was nothing constructive about it. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really think you a bitch. Because
in what sense?
Because
at the time, Akademiks was straight dragged for that response, quote unquote, in what sense? And the internet promptly gave Vic Mensa his praises and handed Ak that fat ass L. Now, I wanted you to compare that video and his response to getting checked face to face from a grown ass man to the next video where he goes ballistic on some Miami tutor because she tried to raise her voice at him.
Then you said that, yo, I get the brakes beat off you here. I get a bitch beat the brakes off you here. Stop playing with me.
Oh, please do. Please
Stop
do.
playing with me. Yo, shorty. I was trying to dismiss you because you're a broke ass bitch who ain't get a babysitter who talking about you gotta go home to your kid. Nigga, go home to your little nigga and go handle your business, nigga. Go handle your business, nigga. Go handle your business. Go handle your business, bitch. Sure, go handle your business.
Obviously, he didn't just flash on a chick for no reason. There was much more to that podcast prior, and the two were going back and forth, but you get the idea. You see what I'm saying? Like, those are two completely different people, and I get that we all grow and change in ways over time, but trust me, if a nigga is speaking to me the way Vic Mensa spoke to Akademiks, my response is not going to be in what sense. It's probably going to be closer to how he reacted to that Miami tutor, if you get what I'm saying. But you see, that's me. I gotta stay true to me, right? That's just who I am. That's how I was raised. It's just in me. It's not on me. You feel me? Akademiks seems like he's portraying something that he's not, or he's at least trying to emulate things that he's seen online. Now, if this shit is all fake and we're all getting finessed and Akademiks is just happy that we're talking about him, then okay, clap, applause. I see you. But it's getting to the point where I just feel like it's not a charade anymore. Like, he's really trying to embody this bravado, boy, I'll beat your ass type shit. And another thing, like, Ak was never like this. Bro was 27 years old at the time of that recording. You were 27 then. You were 30 when you flashed on a girl. How does someone get that much gumption in a few years is like a little mind bending. Could it be the money, the cars, the yitches, the fame? Yeah, probably. To be fair though, those clips were years apart, and he mentioned in the Vlad TV interview a couple years later that he didn't understand how to entertain yet, and he was just trying to keep the interview going, and he didn't really know how to handle it because everything was kosher before the event, or before the interview, I'm sorry, and that he just didn't know how to respond.
He said, yo, so you know you bitch, I should slap you. I said, what you mean? In what sense? By the way, the internet killed me for that. I learned now, at certain signs, fuck the cameras. I learned that now. But before, I was all like, it's your first job. But I realized, and this is one thing I'm learning on the job again, how the internet took it. The internet took it like, look at what happened.
So is that it then? Is that why Ak has decided to just go all in on anyone and everyone who challenge him? He realizes that no matter what is said, at some point you got to be a man and stand on your honor. Yeah, I don't really think so, at least not entirely. That video you just saw was of him screaming at the top of his lungs, trying to break up a fight that was going down between his girlfriend and some other chicks right after a Fresh and Fit podcast episode. In the video, Ak is screaming, I'm the prize, and there's a bunch of different narratives around this, with Ak claiming that he was screaming, I'm the prize, because he was trying to break up a fight, basically trying to remind her that he has a reputation to uphold and that she could destroy that if she were to fight with a ton of cameras around, which low-key doesn't really make a ton of sense, because if you're literally screaming and you're grabbing purses and you're raising the top of your lungs and you're yelling at a female, like, that's probably going to cause a lot more attention than if two bitches is fighting in Miami because they're drunk. Just saying. To be honest, Ak has been in so many online beefs over the past few years, it's going to be impossible to recall all of them in this one video. But one thing remains certain. When he does respond to individuals that respond to him or call him out, he'll do so by either A, flexing his money or calling the other individual broke, B, while he's drunk on stream off the Henny, or C, a combination of both A and B. There really isn't an in-between with academics nowadays. And to me, this is the answer to the $1 million question we posed at the beginning of this video. Obviously, Akademiks has found a whole new level of success in this chapter of his life, and with that comes a lot of money and power. I can only imagine the feeling when his YouTube started taking off, or when Complex gave him his big bag for the Daily Show. Everyone wants to know you, everyone wants to have you in their back pocket. They understand how much your platform can influence the industry. It's a lot for anyone, honestly, especially for a kid from Jamaica that came over to the States in the 7th grade. But to me, that doesn't excuse Ak's character arc. Money doesn't change people, it reveals them. It merely amplifies who they've always been inside. And all isn't too bad with Akademiks. He bought his own house in cash, he has several whips, he took care of his mother and bought her a house and a car. So I'm not trying to say Akademiks is a bad human or has lost touch with reality. I'm just saying we can't excuse what we already know is fact at this point. Akademiks is rich, and anyone who speaks on him is either broke or bored. Or both. The problem with relying on your success and bread is that it starts to make you look insecure. You're not a rapper, or at least a serious one. You're a self-proclaimed civilian, and you have humble beginnings that start with your foreign mother coming over to the States to give you a better chance at life. But now you embody like this tough guy persona with 50 guns in your house, and you literally use flexing to deflect anyone who criticizes you. It's just, to me, a little backwards. I don't want this video to come off as some anti-Ak movement, but just a study case of what can happen to your personality and emotions when money and fame are granted to certain individuals. Akademiks was uploading 2 to 8 times a day across hella channels for years to build the wealth he has now, so I gotta tip my cap and respect that. I just wish we had the old Akademiks back. Focus on the music, the story of the stars, and find artists that are set to blow before we, the audience, even know it's gonna happen. But what do you guys think? Am I tripping? Am I overanalyzing shit? Is Akademiks just a funny ass nigga online and we should just be here for the entertainment? Or have you also noticed that this man has just lately been on a tear and just not his normal self? And question, really, when did this nigga get so thuggy? You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you made it this far, subscribe, like, and comment. It's gonna help your boy out a ton. I'm trying to get that Akademiks bread. I'll be back next week. Tap in.